Tracy, okay?
This is gonna be, this is like the truest story ever, but like this is like live and in your face, ripped from today's headlines, seriously. So, God, all right. So I told my first story ever here in this house, and and it was about getting drunk and falling down a waterfall and surviving. So I'm still surviving this. I'm going to break all the rules today for the first time. I'm going to look at my notes because I want to, and my brain isn't working.
Yeah.
And this thing next to me is actually a vomit bag, for real. It's not a joke. And I have a whole bag of props that you're going to love and you might need someday. You can't have my props, but it's like make notes. Okay? All right. Okay. So I've always been kind of a deviant. I'm a recovering masshole. And when I was young, like 9, I used to get on the subway and go to New York and go to the... Oh, hi! And I used to go to the library and read the books that were banned in Massachusetts. Right? This is like the same thing as when you're on Sunday when you like actually drank all the extra booze on Saturday, right? You're like, I need more alcohol. And New Hampshire's like, we have fireworks, knives, alcohol, come. So I went, William S. Burroughs got me really early. I was like, I love this guy. And that's my dog, too.
Everybody's a critic.
Oh, I love it. This is great. Okay. So yeah, by the time I was 12, I was like in love with the book Junkie, and that's probably not great. And my Catholic school didn't think that was great. But I just loved this guy. He was like, I'm gonna experiment on myself. And he just like made a whole list. He wasn't like, oh, these are the 2 drugs I didn't take. He was like, no, I'm gonna list them all out. And I was like, oh, he's great. But, you know, despite like that being like heroin being his favorite drug, and Boston having the most pure heroin in the world, ironically, even though they have the shittiest weed. I never did heroin. You know, imagine that. Despite that, if I had an action figure, it would be like cautionary tale Barbie. At best. Excuse me. Oh boy. This is hilarious. Okay, so when I was managing an art department in Boston at an alternative newspaper, I had a second job at night, which was mosh pit security. Now, mosh pits in California go in a circle, and it's kind of just jolly fun. It's like cardio. Okay? Right? Not in Boston. No, in Boston, it's like electron smashing. It's like what the Large Hadron Collider is doing and might, you know, create the Big Bang, and then it's like, bye. Oh, wow, that thing's still cool, though. Okay? So, my job was to, like, go through the electron smashing and look for people who have broken things. And even though it looks chaotic, there are rules to mosh pits. Like when people fall, you help each other up. If things get personal, I had to break it up. And this was good because it was always 2 guys that got personal. If another guy went up and was like, stop fighting, then it was a 3-guy fight. And, you know, it was... But I would go up and be like, hey guys, aren't we all here to see Slayer? And they would be like, yeah! And they'd be like, Slayer! And so they would just, you know, put their arms around each other and skip off into the pit. That's metal love, you know? And I took so many combat boots to the face. I mean, they're all accidental. When people crowd surf, these things just happen, elbows to the face. I did this like 5 nights a week. It was awesome. I met like all the bands I loved, and like Pantera. Okay, they had that song and all the swearing. Notes, props. So the song Fucking Hostile, okay. So they always played that last, and you're in this pit, and it's like 1,000,000 degrees, and everybody's all ramped up and drunk, and they're all assholes. And so, you know they're gonna play it, and then everybody looks at each other in the pit, and if you're security, you're like, oh shit, it's going down, and you're just like, save people or the soundboard. And then as soon as like Phil Ensemble's like, I feel, and you're like, it's happening. And he's like, fucking hostile. It's just, and I got a black eye once. I got a lot of black eyes that I didn't care about. I lost 4 pit teeth, but I'm like, pit teeth. Whatever, a dentist exists, you know, who cares? You know, one time I had to go for my asthma to an emergency room with my ex-husband, and he weighed like 130 pounds, and they made him leave, and they came in and they're like, is there anything you want to talk about? And I was like, I don't know, sometimes I don't feel fulfilled about my art. And they're like, are there problems at home? And I was like, oh, this? I was like, oh no. I was in like a circle jerks pit, and I got elbowed in the face. I was like, that guy weighs 130 pounds. I literally, to make money on a bet, bench pressed him last week. If that's what and they were like, oh, you can come back in. So, you know, I moved out here, and right before I left, he had back problems, and so they had like family day at the chiropractor, and I went, and the chiropractor's like, you have a perfect back, which is amazing, because for 3 years at night, I took combat boots to the face. And actually, there's a footage from the band Korn of me getting a boot straight up the nose and blood just gushing out, and it's just like, yep, 3 years of that. Perfect back. So I move out here. 3 years later, a guy's visiting from Switzerland, and I'm going down Van Ness. He like bangs a left right in front of me. I'm going like 40 miles per hour, and yeah, car accident, bad. He's got an SUV. I've got a like compact thing that gets like great mileage. And he gets out of the car. They're like prying me out of the car, and I'm like, huh? You gotta get my ice skates. And just like about the ice skates, when you live in New England, like by the time, especially if you're a woman, and you sprain your ankles in stupid figure skates a million times, by the time you realize you need hockey skates and you get ones that fit, you do not let them go. So, right, I'm on the stretcher, and I'm like, you have to get my hockey skates out of the car that's on fire. Okay. So the police really thought that I had serious brain damage. You know, they got my hockey skates, and he was like, and as they were wheeling me away, he's apologizing, I'm so sorry. And he's saying to the police, I'm so sorry, I didn't know I couldn't go left there, I'm visiting, and I had like 5 bottles of wine with dinner I just came from. And they were like, did you just say 5 bottles of wine? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty drunk. And they were like, you are not from here, you never even visited here before. He's like seriously, Americans will be laying asleep on the ground, like, I'm not drunk. And he just admitted it. Like, there was like all these witnesses, but it was like, whatever. But like all those mosh pits, nothing. That car accident, L this, L that, all the things that end in osis on me. I had full MRIs. He screwed me up. So yeah, for a year of my life, it was like physical therapy, acupuncture, meditation, herbs. I ended up becoming a level 2 Reiki practitioner. I I did everything, but I also took some pain pills, prescribed to me. And after a while, all the stuff I did worked. Stopped taking the stupid pills, got back to work, going to the gym, and like having a life again. It all worked. Yeah, I'm broken, and there's certain ways I couldn't twist, but okay. So then, last year, I get on a plane, and I hear like this kid coughing to death. And it reminds me of the scene in Clerks where a 4-year-old's about to light a cigarette. And I'm like, wow, that kid's pretty young to have the smoker's cough. And the people are, his presumed family father person is bleaching the plane. And it's making the plastic smell like burnt hair. And so I turn around and I'm like, can you not do that? Like, by the time you're 7, you know not to bleach things in an enclosed place. And I don't think I know anywhere more enclosed than a plane. So he's like, I have to do this. We don't vaccinate our kids.
Oh.
I don't have kids. I'm not going to have kids. I didn't have an opinion about this really because I don't care. Now I suddenly have an opinion. Okay, right that moment I didn't. A couple weeks later I did. So I went up to the front, and I'm the person swimming upstream, while everyone's trying to get on the plane, so I'm a jerk. I go up front, I'm like, they're bleaching the plane, and I can't sit near them. I have COPD, like my lungs suck. I was born with them that way. Move me as far away from that. And so they were like, please enjoy this, like, first row, like, first class seat. And I was like, and I was like, can I also break a federal rule and sit in the pilot seat? And they were like, please do. And I got to do that. Yeah, okay. And there it was, me and the CDC again. Okay, yeah, they love me. I must be on some list. Talk about lists you're on. I'm on one with the CDC. So they were like, do you know who these people are? I'm like, well, they were sitting right behind this row. Here's my airplane ticket. Go have fun with them. I got whooping cough, pertussis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably thinking what my husband thought, which was, isn't that like polio? Does that still exist? And it just screwed me up. The cough is crazy. I cracked a rib and all my hard work went out the window. Every single osis, every single L this, L that, gone. And I couldn't sleep at all. I was like crippled. It was bad. I had to learn how to walk in a pool again. And so eventually I have to go see pain doctors. I had to go to 5. The first 4 said that I was being resistant and they would not work with me if I would not take OxyContin.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. So I look up this 5th one, and she seems like she at least believes in other medicine besides OxyContin. And so I get in her office, I'm kind of holding on to the rim, and I have like all these gadgets holding on. And I'm like, before I even sit down, I just want to know, I don't want to hear the word OxyContin out of your mouth. And and symbol to nothing, and anything related to Effexor. Are you cool with that? And she was like wide-eyed. And she was like, yeah. Nobody's ever walked into my office and said, don't give me OxyContin. And so I was like, so you're cool with that? And she's like, please come in. And finally, right? So, and then when I said Reiki, she was like, I never heard anyone say Reiki. I can't even get people to go to physical therapy. So eventually, yes, I have to take pain medicine again. But we like Rochambeau'd for this. It was like, yes, no, okay, maybe. Yeah. And eventually I had to take something extended release. So the only thing I would take is morphine extended release. And it wasn't that bad. I had to take it when I was a kid, when I had pneumonia, because you couldn't even feel it, and you couldn't break them open. There was no really risk for abuse, and you could totally function on them because they really dripped into your system. And then after I started feeling better, I did the pool, like therapeutic pool thing. I did all the stuff again. I was like, all right, ready to get off this crap. Let's taper. We've been doing this great taper. And So I get down to 20 milligrams. I'm all excited. I'm like, 2018, I might start off without this crap in my body, right? I'm like, I just want it, right? And then my insurance is like, no, nope, you can't taper anymore. Yeah, okay. So we filled out all this paperwork. I called the California commissioner. I called Channel 7, and oops, did I just break the anonymity? If you see like kind of a chubby shape with too many piercings, I guess that's me, okay? Yeah, no. And so my doctor and I sat there, and I'm like, our perfect taper is ruined. And they said, what we'll cover and is OxyContin or fentanyl.
Jeez.
So I said, okay, I'm at this point where I'm ready to jump off to a TENS machine and ice packs, and you're saying I have to take the drug that killed Prince or the drug that's killing everyone else. And they said, I'm sorry, but that's what we cover. And I was like, apparently I said something that they have never heard before, which is, no, fuck you. And, yesterday, I almost took that back. And the day before. Maybe for an hour today. So my doctor and I, what can we do? We have to do a taper off morphine with Norco. Is this gonna work right? No, it isn't. It's gonna suck. I have to take this stuff every 4 hours. It made me break out in hot. Oh, yeah, all right, look. Props. I'm gonna be a human prop for a second. This is fun.
Go Kathleen.
Yeah. What? Yeah, human prop. Okay, so can you see this giant welt on my wrist?
Yeah.
These were all over my body. This one's really hanging on. Yeah. This is because all of a sudden, tons of hydrocodone to taper me, right? Which still makes me sick. And this is because my insurance company wants to say, no, you can't taper. Please take our drugs forever. And I'm like, what is this crap? And so, no, I will not take it. I will suffer. And that's why I have this bag here. I was like, I'm coming to spokespeople. Spokespeople's last damn night. I'm coming. And I want to say this. There's a lot of people out there who need pain medicine. And it's this kind of crap that makes this stuff look bad. And these documentaries are leaving a gap. Like, why all of a sudden are people running out the door to buy heroin? I'm on day 16 of puking and crying and all the other nasty stuff, like Sid and Nancy times 100. And I should have just done heroin. I would have been done in 3 days. What the hell is in this stuff? And I didn't even take the OxyContin or the fentanyl. So if I did that stuff, that would have been like, what, a year of tapering? And that they were insisting, and I said no. And I'm still saying no. And it's day 16. And I feel like crap. Like, actually, I feel okay. You know what? Talking in this microphone is making me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, there's all these documentaries, the opiate crisis. They leave out this part. And when I talked to Channel 7, again, there goes my anonymity. They said, this is what we've been waiting for. Nobody calls us and they said no. And they're like, you must be super sick. And while I was talking to them, I threw up on my phone. Oh. And I was like, yeah, I feel disgusting. It's awful. But I'm not doing it. And I was like, this is so much like me. I would torture myself to death just to be like, no.
Yes.
So, props, people. Since at some point you're going to injure yourself pretty badly, and apparently your insurance company or your doctor is going to try to get you hooked to something crazy, really, get out a notepad or the notes on your phone. I see a couple of people reaching. This is disgusting stuff. Like, when people come over my house, this is Coca-Cola, right? I don't drink this. I have a Zevia behind me, seriously. But when I was a pharmacy tech when I was younger, there was Coke syrup in the back of the pharmacy for kids who had nausea. For some reason, this works on opiate withdrawal for your stomach.
Good.
I hate it, but it works, and as soon as I feel better, no more of this. Because when people come over our house, they buy like chips and stuff because they say we don't have real food. We actually have real food. They don't think it's real. Like we have blueberries and strawberries, and they're like, what is that? Coca-Cola. And you can thank William S. Burroughs for a lot of this. Baby wipes, just get them. Okay, they're bad for the environment. Trust me, at some point, you become the environment. There's these things if you have a card, and soon you won't when you need a card. Mary's transdermal patches with CBD. There's one on my ankle. They make the world look a little less shitty and make you have a little less breakdowns. I recommend the book Junkie by William S. Burroughs. It's a great book anyway, and he has a lot of tips in here for getting off opiates because he did it all the time.
Wow.
This thing on the back of my neck is like those thermal heated things.
Oh.
They for some reason hot water on the back of your neck or hot on the back of your neck helps. Epsom salt tubs, giant professional ice packs. I'm serious. Oh, I'll get that. I'm totally serious. You're like, oh my God, you're crazy. And you know what? I don't care right now. Imodium. Let's just get real. I'm serious. Okay? Just get it. I mean, I think people who go to Burning Man bring it, right? Oddly, Benadryl, antihistamines, William S. Burroughs talked about this a lot. Antihistamines fight all kinds of withdrawals. Any brand you want, but Benadryl is the best. And Tums or store brands, and then these are the TheraCare handbags. You're taking pictures. Are you on pain medicine or something?
No. I'm documenting.
You know. Now this is a little tricky. Bonine is something people take when they go on boats. Usually, you take it first so you don't get motion sick.
Yeah.
There's also Dramamine. Dramamine sucks. Don't take that shit. Bonine is grape flavored. You chew it. This works. It's for motion sickness, but it makes you not puke. Okay.
Nice.
And this is Neosporin. It helps with these things that pop up on your like wrists and whatnot. And finally, you're like, this girl's crazy. The only thing I'm gonna regret the hell out of this later, but the only thing I kind of regret right now is that I'm not doing this at the Moth. Like, this is my safe place. They would be like,
Yeah.
okay, and finally, there's only a few slivers of narco left, so here comes more torture. So I'm going to say goodbye to opiates.
Yay! Woo!